Okay.
Max is watching.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the first official live episode of Ted's Ball Talk, episode number 2, January 25th, 2023. Very exciting. I would just like to thank everyone for the insane amount of support on that first episode. That was crazy. The thing that we produce our podcast through, we already reached enough viewers to already get sent out for sponsorships after one episode, which I think is kind of ridiculous.
You know, it's all about the bag.
It's all about
all
the bag.
about the bag.
I just really appreciate everyone coming in and tuning into this. The first episode was awesome, and I'm excited for the next one, all right? So we're going to start off with some would you rather on players for the next couple years, young players, and we're going to see who we'd rather have on our team. All right, first one to get started, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown or Garrett Wilson.
Okay,
right,
before we talk about the stats, let's just talk about them as athletes, as people. What are your thoughts on both these people? I know you have probably some bias towards one of them.
I have a little bit of bias towards Amon-Ra St. Brown because I'm a huge Lions fan, and I think he's a great player. A thing I like about Amon-Ra is his personality. He's a fighter. He's a little bit undersized, which I think has put a chip on his shoulder throughout his whole career, high school, college, and NFL.
Preach.
For you, for sure, preaching. But he played around. He grew up in the same area as us. Local guy, played at USC, modern day. And, I think it's a super cool story. Garrett Wilson, not undersized. He's a stud. Just finished his rookie year.
How tall is he?
I'm not sure exactly. I can find out
this
right
is gonna.
here. This is
gonna factor into my decision making.
Same height, actually.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, now it's gonna be hard for me to decide.
Look at that. Benny. Amon-Ra St. Brown is not 6 feet tall. He's measured 6 feet tall. That dude is 5'10". He's got to be 5'10". All right. So, Garrett Wilson, top 3 finalist for NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Those awards just came out today. The finalists, we'll cover those in the next episode. We're going to make our picks for who we think should win those awards. Just a little sneak peek into Friday's ep for you guys. All right. Amon-Ra St. Brown on the season, 106 receptions. By the way, through his first 2 seasons, tied for the most receptions of all time for a person's first 2 seasons in their career. Yeah,
really?
He was one off of breaking it. He said on his podcast he was talking about how he was counting it down. He knew that he was close and he wanted it, but remember in the last game of the season when that catch got overturned to a drop where it sort of skimmed the ground when he caught it by his shoestrings, that he knew immediately that cost him.
I don't remember that.
Okay,
but,
well, it happened. It happened. All right, 106 receptions, 1,161 yards, 11 yards per reception, 6 touchdowns, and that's his stat line. He played 16 games. Garrett Wilson, on the other hand, 83 receptions. So Amon-Ra's got him in the rack catch, in the receptions.
But don't they play differently? I guess you can go into that later. Like
Garrett Wilson's definitely more of a big play guy. Amon-Ra's a great blocker. So he has that edge. I mean, him in the run blocking scheme is amazing for a guy his size. 83 receptions, 1,100 yards. So he's averaging 13.3 per reception. So he's definitely more of a big play guy. 4 touchdowns. So Amon-Ra's got him by 2. Me personally, I'm gonna take Amon-Ra St. Brown because of that run blocking. I think that's a huge difference maker for him.
Interesting.
Because He's not selfish at all. And there's not a single guy when you're one-on-one he can break away from any quarterback. He's not going to outrun them deep, but his releases are insane.
So good route running, good off the line, you'd say.
It's like in Madden. It's like he's like stuck in a formula. He has to run that route.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Interesting. For me personally, I'm just going to pick off of he's a fellow media member.
That's right.
So I'm going to he's a sports influencer. He's a sports media member.
Is that what we are now? We're sports influencers?
Well, that's what you're trying to be.
That's what we're trying to be. That's for sure.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to pick Amon-Ra because maybe he'll come on our show one day.
I love it. Oh, absolutely. That'd be awesome if we could get him on our show.
I'm going to pick him now, and so then he can hear this.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. And then what about for Max? What's that guy Watson?
Christian Watson?
Yeah.
Christian Watson. He is not comparable to these 2 players. He got a lot of touchdowns. I don't know if Max is still watching right now, but if he's in there, love Christian Watson, but he ain't on the same level as those 2 yet. Maybe he could have a big year too.
Right.
But these guys look a little bit more promising to me.
Bro, is my camera blurry right now? Or does it look good?
It looks good.
Among Us, St. Brown reminds me of third-year Devontae on the Packers.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's big time. I love that. I love that comparison.
I don't remember watching third year.
Stud.
Okay, well,
Stud.
okay, we like that.
So that means next year, fourth year Devontae. And you know what? Devontae just keeps getting better. So
He does.
very excited. All right. Next, would you rather Max Crosby or Trey Hendrickson? I know these guys aren't guys you really know much about. Jake, if you're watching this, I'm gonna.
Okay, can I just first off say that when I hear Max Crosby, the first person I think of is the kicker for the Packers.
We're not talking kickers here.
I know we're not talking kickers, but I'm just saying that the first person that comes to my mind is an old, graying man.
Hey, would you rather? Let's go kickers real quick. Justin Tucker or Dylan Carlson?
Justin Tucker, because he can sing opera.
That's right. He can sing opera. I forgot about that.
And, you know, that's a valuable skill in football.
Is it?
Yes. What if whenever he kicks the ball, he sings a note, and it like guides the ball. He's like,
Yeah, do you think like
it's a superpower.
instead of grunting when he kicks, he like hits like a high C or something like that?
exactly.
That'd be fire. That'd be awesome.
What is it? The E above high C.
Yeah, from Phineas and Ferb. Yeah, whatever that was. Alrighty. Okay, Max Crosby for this season, all 17 games played, 12.5 sacks, 58 solo tacks, and 3 forced fumbles.
Mm.
And throughout his career, he's been a stud.
This guy plays for the Raiders, right?
He does play for the Raiders.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So he's had his rookie year 10 sacks, 7 sacks, 8 sacks, and then 12.5. He's consistently around that.
How many years? He
digit.
played 4 years now.
He's played. Yeah, that was his 4th year that he just finished.
Max says all day.
Mad Max all day.
Mad
okay.
Max all day.
This isn't even a question.
Who's the other guy?
Trey Hendrickson. He's
what team does he play for?
He plays for the Bengals.
The Bengals. Okay.
Yeah. They're both 2-time Pro Bowlers this season in 15 games, 8 sacks, 22 solo tackles.
Oh.
And 3 forced fumbles.
Wait, how many solo tackles does the other guy have?
58.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but we gotta go.
I agree with Max.
We gotta look at career real quick.
Is this guy
the 2 years before this, he did 13.5 sacks and 14 sacks.
That's a lot of sacks.
But he was injured this year. He probably would have gotten to that number if he had the extra 3 games.
But what about the solo tackles? The all-important solo tackle.
The solo tackle. Yeah, he's never been a huge solo tackle guy. He's gotten 20s every year.
Okay.
And let's see Max Crosby.
Well, he gets to the quarterback,
Mason
so you know.
Crosby. Max Crosby. He did.
What's their PFF ranks?
PFF ranks?
Does it show that on the? Oh,
What room is this?
People love ball talk.
How do I think the Raiders should approach the offseason? Jake, we're talking Max Crosby right now. Max Crosby or Trey Hendrickson is the current.
Extend Max Crosby. That's my advice right
Extend Max. I think they did extend him. They got him for like $100 million.
Well, what can I say?
Look at you. You
I'm
know
a
what you're
smart
talking
guy.
about. Yeah. Let's see. East Michigan College guy. Okay. That's a feeder school. 106th overall draft pick. Crosby is here to stay. That's right, Jake.
Let's go.
You let him know. Wow. Okay. So we both settled that we take Max Crosby as our pick for the next couple of years?
Yes.
Okay. All right. There you go, Jake. Hey, just while we're here real quick, let's run a quick segment for Jake. What Raiders player is most likely to be arrested next?
How many people got arrested last year?
For the Raiders?
Yeah.
I don't know, probably 4.
Is that an NFL record? Most people arrested on one team?
Definitely for
in
a
year?
franchise. It's got to be for a franchise. I don't know about per year.
I don't know, man. Vegas. I don't know. Vegas is a tough place.
Jake.
Tough place to be living.
Jake's out. I'm gonna go for my pick for next Raider to be arrested. Daniel Carlson.
Oh yeah.
Mail fraud. He looks like a mail fraud kind of guy. Let me pull up a picture of him.
He's
for
gonna
you so you can put a face to the crime.
He's gonna bust up his stereo and send it in, trying to get
That's right.
try to get his money back. I did some research last night on this topic because
I know you were getting ready for this topic.
and I
'cause we
forgot
were
his
talking
name,
about
but
it.
there was a guy that went to Harvard, and I think that guy is gonna get arrested.
Yeah.
But I don't wish
Mail fraud.
I could see him busting up a stereo. I really could.
Absolutely.
People that don't know what he looks like, look him up because
Yeah, he's a male fraud looking guy. I'm sorry to say it. All
But
right, let's see what's going on in the chat. Real
on
quick.
this podcast we don't condone crimes, nor do we want any of the players that we've mentioned to commit crimes or get caught for them. So yeah, just want to preface that.
Max, I'd say if the Jets are gonna give you two first round draft picks, take that 100%. See how J Love does for a year. If not, you got 2 first round draft picks. Make something happen with them.
Wait, what was the question in the chat?
He says, should the Packers let go of the dreams and hopes of A-Rod? Do we trade J Love? Do we draft a new QB? I say you don't trade J Love. And if anything, if he doesn't work out, keep him as your backup for years to come.
Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't trade him. I'd take those 2 first round draft picks and more if you could get another second, third maybe for Aaron Rodgers because people want him. Don't know why.
Hey,
but people want him.
Max, if you listen to the podcast that came out on Monday, I predicted that he will go to the 49ers and he will have an illustrious season alongside Tom Brady.
That's right. Switching off quarters is what he said.
That's right. So, you've heard it here first. Wait, Max?
He said if he's a backup again, he's out. Okay.
Wow.
Where's Derek Carr going? Derek Carr's going to the Texans. I think he might go to the Texans.
Interesting.
I don't know why.
Well, during
but
the
I got that
offseason,
feeling in my bad knee.
During the offseason, we'll have to elaborate on
100%.
where these people are signing.
The more the stuff comes out, the more we'll know. All right. Cold take? Come on. Texans. That's where he's going. All right. Next topic of discussion. Roquan Smith or Fred Warner?
Okay. Roquan Smith, does he play? No, I'm thinking of somebody else. I'm thinking of Zadarius Smith.
Okay.
That's the only Smith I know that plays defense.
Roquan Smith was a Bear, got traded to the Ravens this season.
Oh, okay. We saw him play.
Yes, we did.
Oh.
No, he was on the Ravens by then. This season, played 17 games, had 4.5 sacks, 103 solo tackles, though.
That's a lot of tackles.
He's a linebacker.
So wait, is a linebacker's job is not to sack the quarterback? Their job is to tackle people?
Unless they're on a linebacker blitz, they're not going to be sacking the quarterback.
Okay, and then are they also supposed to intercept people or no?
They can, yeah, if they're back in coverage. I mean, that's the goal. Anyone in coverage.
So they do like a little bit.
They
of
kind of control the middle of the field.
The middle.
If they're running up the middle, they're gonna hopefully they're the second level. If they're passing over the middle, hopefully they'll break it up.
Okay.
And if they're in man coverage, they'll usually be on the tight end.
Okay.
Sometimes they get stuck on a receiver, like we saw Fred Warner on. Let's show features. Okay, here we go. Fred Warner, 2 sacks in 17 games, 79 solo tackles, and 1 forced fumble.
That was Fred Warner?
That's Fred Warner.
Well, he seems to have worse stats than the other guy that you mentioned.
He does. But he's fast.
He is
and
fast.
He's a great leader.
We're talking about the intangibles now. Okay.
Benny Briggs for Lee Gordon, best pinch runner in the league. Benny. 100% Benny's faster than Lee.
I don't think I could beat him in a race. I could beat him. I think I got quicker twitching, you know. Okay, wait. So talk to me about the intangibles, Teddy, here. So you say Fred Warner is a great leader. Roquan Smith not a great leader, or would you say that he's just...
He is. And Roquan Smith got the bag this offseason.
Really?
But
Is he making more money than Fred Warner?
Yeah, he is.
He
for
is?
sure.
Well, you know, money talks.
Yeah, I might...
I'm picking Zadarius Smith because...
Roquan Smith?
Yeah. Roquan Smith because he's making the money. He's making the money.
I'm going to go Fred Warner on that one.
Ooh.
I like the way he plays. I like how quick he is.
Disagreement.
How long have they been in the league for?
I might have to go Stephen A on your ass soon, Teddy.
28. You're going to start yelling at me?
You're telling me that you're picking Fred Warner.
Hold on. They've been in the league for the same amount of years. 411 solo tackles to 451. Okay.
They're like the same.
Yeah, they're very, very comparable players. Roquan has a lot more sacks, though, in their career. Fred Warner has 6.5. Roquan has 18.5 sacks in his career. They've been playing for the same amount of years.
Interesting. Well, if you're an NFL executive listening to this, go out and get either of those guys, and I think they're going to be very good for your team.
Absolutely. I would like to have both of them.
That's what I'm predicting. Predict that an NFL executive should go draft. Should trade for one of them.
No, this is not a Mania bobblehead, by the way. This is a Cocoa Crisp garden gnome.
That's right. Should we tell the story real quick? Should we talk about the Cocoa Crisp Garden Gnome adventure?
We were at my grandpa's house.
That's right.
Watching a game. This was 2017, right? Because
I don't know. It feels like it was
2015 maybe,
long
actually,
time
because it was
ago.
before Ortiz retired. And we were watching an Angels-A's game, and an ad came on on like June 4th, it was Cocoa Crisp Garden Gnome Day, and my mom was like, "We're there."
Cocoa Crisp. That's a crazy name. Garden Gnome. I've never heard of a Garden Gnome promotion. We gotta go.
So
we
that's how
drove out.
we got like 5 of them.
Yep. And this is the only one we can find now.
It's the only one we can find. We just took it out of the box, actually.
And for those of you who don't know, Cocoa Crisp was a center fielder for the Oakland A's and Boston Red Sox. And he was not very good. But
he was good.
He went to Pierce College.
He was good.
He
was a good center fielder.
He's a local guy.
Decent amount of time. He is a local guy.
Shout out Agora Baseball, his son, right? Is his son on the Agora Baseball?
Two of 15 fans in A's Stadium that day.
That's right.
That's true.
Four of 15.
That's why we got so many of these bobbleheads, because no one wanted them. Yeah, it was first 30,000 fans in attendance. You think 30,000 people showed up to that A's game?
They were better.
They were better, but still, they weren't selling.
David Ortiz was playing,
and it was his last year. That's true.
I think it was probably like Shohei Ohtani numbers at the stadium that day. So maybe like 3,000.
Jake wants to call in. Maybe we'll open the phone lines in a second, Jake. Okay? Maybe we'll open them up. All right.
We still got many segments to go through, guys.
We got a lot on the docket for today. Okay, Jake, we'll let you know if we open up the phone lines. I'll let you guys know. All right. Not now. All right.
Oh, hey, Brandon Goldstein's asking for a Cocoa Crisp interview.
If we can make that happen, absolutely.
That's the top list right there.
I would love to interview Cocoa Crisp. All right. Next topic. We're switching to MLB players for a little Would You Rather, okay?
Ooh.
I know we got a lot of baseball fans here in the chat right now. Okay. Austin Riley or Rafael Devers?
See, I really like this question because, one, I'm able to talk somewhat intelligently about it. And two, these people are very underrated, very good players.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Devers is more underrated than Austin Riley, but I think I would probably pick Devers.
I think Devers ends up being a first ballot Hall of Famer by the end of his career.
Austin Riley, no, though?
No.
Okay, well,
I just revealed my pick right there. But
both third basemen, one in the American League, one in the National League. One's playing for the Atlanta Braves, the other one playing for the Boston Red Sox.
Yep.
They were both extended.
And they both got the bag.
But Austin Riley got less of a bag.
That's
because
true. He plays for an incredibly smart general manager.
Yeah, for some reason their general manager is fleecing him. They got to have, like, what do you think the incentives are? Do you think they get, like free lunch or... Like, there's got to be, like, something else that's not in the contract. That's not monetizable.
You would take Austin Riley over Rafael Devers, Jake? Rafael Devers is lefty Adrian Beltre. He's that good.
The Skip Bayless of takes.
Yeah, come on.
Skip Bayless.
Do you see how ugly Skip Bayless's kitchen is? That guy makes a gazillion dollars a year, and that thing is hideous. There was a video of him throwing his Dak Prescott jersey in the trash can of his kitchen. It's tiny and ugly.
Poor Dak. Dak deserves more respect.
You don't think he could end up being a first ballot? He's hitting like 30 home runs a year, and he's like 22. The guy's a baby.
I don't know. I like that he can hit for average.
Yeah,
he gets like 99. Like he gets 90s, 100s RBIs a season. I know nobody likes RBIs anymore.
I don't get that. I love RBIs. If you're driving in runs, you're driving in runs.
But I think it's because it's the people in front of him too. You know, that has to play a factor.
Like Mike Trout getting 50 RBIs a season and hitting 40 home runs.
Yeah. But you know, I think when it comes down defensively, how are they? Do we know their defensive stats?
Let's check out their defensive ratings. You check out the chat real quick, Benny. You respond to
Let's
those
see what's going on. Let's see.
Read that Tyler one.
Yeah, Tyler. He says Dak not a top 10 quarterback. Changed my mind. You know what?
I'm not changing your mind.
I wish I had enough knowledge to change your mind, but he's probably one of 10 quarterbacks that I can name. So,
so should we try and have Benny name 10 quarterbacks right now?
Wait. Let me see. Let's see. Jake says Devers not a big defensive guy. Duke
definitely not.
Talking about Matt Olson in an interview said that the team supplies them with whatever they want in the locker room facilities, etc. All right, I like that. That would probably make me sign for less money too. It's like a writer. If you know, like people like artists are on tour or something. They can get whatever they want in their dressing room. So I respect that. Maybe they got like crazy like gaming PCs in there, and they're just gaming before the game. Okay, let me name 10 quarterbacks.
All right, let's do this.
I can name Derek Carr. I can
Okay.
name Dak Prescott.
Okay.
I can name Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes,
Okay.
Jared Goff, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson.
LeVar Jackson.
All right. And one more. Bro, Davis Mills. Does he count? Even though he's not going to be in the NFL next year. Wait, I can name a better one. Justin Herbert. There we go. 10. And why did I think about Davis Mills before Justin Herbert?
Austin Riley's a better fielder.
All right, I'm picking Devers.
Really? You're picking Devers even? He is a terrible fielder.
Really? All right, never mind. I'm picking Austin Riley. And the contract is
Fielding
better.
runs above average. -69 for Rafael Devers.
Woo.
And Austin Riley's +10.
Okay, yeah. I got to go Austin Riley. He's probably easier to trade for in MLB The Show.
You think Davis Mills is better than... I'm taking Goff before Dak to be real? 100%.
Jake's also not a big defense guy.
Yeah.
I'm taking Jared Goff before Dak to be real.
Man, he's a really, really bad fielder. Sounds about Jake's genius. All right, Jake, I like that take. I will say this. I will take back my first ballot Hall of Fame take now that I've seen his defensive percentages.
And now that we know that nobody gets in the Hall of Fame, some nobody that nobody knows about got in the Hall of Fame.
Scott Rowland got in the Hall of Fame. Rafael Devers is going to end up having a better career.
Let's clap it up.
Gino is
Clap
for
it up for
100%. Scott Rowland and Fred McGriff, congratulations.
We love to see it. Congratulations, boys.
Yep.
But they're doing my MLB The Show goat Wagner. No. Never mind. I forgot his name.
Jake, what do you want to talk about if you call in? Gino comeback player of the year, 100%, no doubt about it. Saquon and Christian McCaffrey, it's not happening. Those guys are studs. They were just injured. Geno Smith had something to prove. I don't think it's even going to be close. It's unanimous that Geno's going to be comeback player of the year.
To go from somebody that's never really started before to starting a whole season.
They wrote him off, and what did he do, Benny?
He didn't write back.
That's right.
Or did he write back?
He didn't write back.
Yeah. Is he writing now?
No, he's not writing back because he ain't written off now. Actually, he might be. They might draft a quarterback.
Okay, wait. Who is the next this or that? Who's the next which one?
Duke's gonna get
Either
fired
one.
up about this one.
Okay.
Julio Rodriguez or Michael Harris?
Ooh. Okay.
I honestly think this is actually debatable.
I don't know, man.
Julio has so much upside though.
But Michael Harris doesn't.
He does, but
The only issue is that nobody knew about who he was, and then he just showed up and then started hitting ding dongs and running as fast as possible.
yeah. I mean, when you break,
Jake is mad.
hey, I don't know. The power is there.
Read the stats to me.
You want to go stat line?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start with Julio. WAR 6.2. That's huge. 511 at bats, 145 hits, 28 homers, 285 batting average, 84 runs, 75 RBIs, and 25 stolen bases. That is a ridiculous year.
I like those stolen base
That is
numbers.
ridiculous.
I like those stolen base numbers.
All right.
Me and Lee getting fired up about that.
Yeah, stolen bases are a dying art. If you can swipe bags, 100%.
Okay, what about the other guy?
His WAR, Michael Harris, 5.3, 414 at bats, 123 hits, 19 homers, 297 batting average, 75 runs, 64 RBIs, 20 stolen bases.
What's the on base percentage for both those guys?
Let's pull it up.
This will be the deciding factor.
It's gonna be a deciding factor.
Yes, right here. Wait, how many stolen bases does Michael Harris have?
20.
20
is not bad.
It's only 5 less. Some quick math right there for you guys.
Michael Harris on base percentage, 339. Julio, 345. 853 OPS for Julio.
Michael Harris is not going to be close to that.
853 OPS for Michael Harris.
How? He just gets like...
He has higher slugging.
That's crazy.
Right?
But he did hit less home runs.
Doubles machine.
Let's look at the doubles count.
You want to look at doubles?
Yeah.
Let's pull up the doubles. 2 baggers. 22 for Julio. 27 for Michael Harris and 3 triples. Julio had 2 triples.
All right. Okay, wait. I like so Duke is talking right now.
Miscounted. 25 doubles for Julio.
1 second.
And
Wait.
27.
Duke said something that I want to go off of.
Okay.
First he said call me in. And then but we're not going to call him in. Nobody's getting called in today. He said Harris is hitting 9th in a loaded Braves lineup with massive protection. I agree with that. I was just about to say that I'm going to pick Julio Rodriguez because the situation that he's in right now, he's the guy. Michael Harris,
yeah.
Austin Riley's better, Matt Olson's better, Ronald Acuna's better, Ozzy Albies.
I was going to end up going the same route as you because of the situations that they're in.
Yeah, you got to go.
Julio was that team last year.
Julio Rodriguez.
Julio was carrying and.
Brandon wants to call in. We might have to call Brandon.
Brandon wants to call in. All right, Jake. I'll let you call in. You can share one thing about the Raiders, and we'll go off of it. Okay? You can share one thing about the Raiders.
We gotta call each of these guys in that are in the chat.
All right. If they want to call in, they got something to talk about. Jake, call my phone right now.
Ooh.
We'll get you in.
Hold him up to the mic.
I will.
Put him on speaker. Hold him up to the mic.
We're gonna have our first caller.
Group call with all of us.
Group call with all of us. That's not happening.
Come on, Brandon. Let's get. Brandon, you gotta come on the show. You gotta talk about the chess boxing. Come talk to us about chess boxing.
Yeah, what is that chess boxing? All right, we're having
Oh.
Jake Price is joining the show. First official guest. All right, Jake, you're live.
So, what do you think our moves should be this offseason for the Raiders?
What do you think the Raiders? What do I think the Raiders should do this offseason?
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think is the necessity for our team?
A quarterback.
Well, yeah, quarterback. Stidham is not the answer.
Yeah. So, what do you think the answer is?
You gotta. He asked a question, but nobody heard.
I know. I'm processing the question in my mind. I'm processing the question. What do I think the answer is?
But now you're not holding the mic up to you. Come on, you gotta get better at this.
I'm
Teddy.
new to this stuff, Ben.
You gotta get better at this.
I'm new to this stuff. All right. If I say Tom Brady. Tom Brady to lead that team. He's familiar with McDaniels. How to make him more comfortable. McDaniels looked uncomfortable this season. Get 1 year with Tom Brady and see how that goes.
So you think it's better than going out of the draft and trading up for Stroud or waiting for Levis to fall in our lap?
You're not going to be able to trade up that high. Who do you want to trade?
We're 7.
Stroud, there's going to be 3 quarterbacks in the top 5.
You truly believe that?
I do.
And you don't think we should reach for Richardson?
No, not at 7. Absolutely not.
All right, so I have to go back to this J-Rod take. You're talking about a guy that took his team to the playoffs, single-handedly on his back, subpar hitting from probably 7 other guys in the lineup. You can't compare him to Michael Harris.
I agree with you.
I agree with you too. That's why we both picked Michael Harris.
I mean, Julio is just he's the next coming to the best outfielder in the league. I agree with Deming. I'm on Deming's side here.
I agree. No, we're all on the same page here about Julio Rodriguez. Julio Rodriguez is a stud.
So what do we think about the Lions next year? What do you think the move is for the Detroit Lions?
I think you draft a lot of defense. Maybe you spend 2 of your draft picks on offense just to make what you got going better. Maybe Jamel Dean in the offseason, some cornerback that can be a leader for the young guys. Devin Bush, if we can get him on a prove-it deal, I wouldn't hate that. And I think anything short of the NFC North Championship would be a failure next year.
Oh, really? NFC North Championship. I like that.
I don't think any team is really in competition with us if we play our offseason right.
Brandon in the chat saying this guy.
I am the one who fleeced you in poker.
Oh, shit talk in the chat.
That is him. All right, Jake, thank you for calling in. We appreciate it. Jake, we appreciate the calling.
He hung up. All right.
Let's move on. We're gonna stick with MLB topic. All right.
Okay, and then we'll call somebody in later in the day.
We'll call another person in for sure.
We got people in the queue.
We're gonna go. Mondesi to the Red Sox,
Okay.
just to pick up, nothing crazy.
Well, I don't know. It could be crazy, Teddy.
If he's on steroids again,
Hey, you never know.
you never know if he's starting the needle again.
So what's the contract for this guy? Is it like a minimum? What they sign him for? 1 year?
Definitely a 1 year deal. I didn't get the exact numbers on it, but it's not going to be anything crazy. But
He's going to be starting though.
He's going to start, yeah, for sure. I would say Red Sox, though, very comparable offseason to the Cubs. Both teams are in kind of like this weird gray area of where are they going to go? Are they going to not be good next year? Are they going to be decent and like be in contention? I think, for me personally, Red Sox have a deeper roster than the Chicago Cubs.
Well, they signed everybody to a 1 year it seems like everybody that both those teams signed, except for Devers and Dansby Swanson, was on 1 or 2 year contract deals.
Yeah.
Personally, I think the Cubs have a better team just because even though the guys they signed are still old, they're not as old as the guys that the Red Sox signed.
That's true, but the Cubs pitching staff, they got Tyone, and it's ugly after that.
They got Stroman,
Keegan Thompson.
But
Stroman's he was not good last year, and I don't think
a
it's
bounce
gonna,
back year.
Maybe.
They'll have Kyle Hendricks out there throwing 77 mile per hour fastballs.
That's right. Sinkers that drop 2 feet.
Hey, that's dirty right there.
He got clipped a lot last year.
He's throwing the eephus pitch unintentionally.
He got hit a lot. It was not pretty. So who are you gonna pick to have a better record by the end of the year next year?
I will pick the Chicago Cubs have a better year because I think Cody Bellinger he'll hit 270. And I think Trey Mancini will be good for them. I think
270 for Bellinger?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. How many homers?
I don't know.
20 something? It's windy.
18.
Okay. 18 home runs.
I'm trying to think about what else. Who else could be? Oh, who else would be good for them?
Mancini.
I said Mancini is going to be good.
Pete Crow Armstrong or Ed Howard going to play yet?
No.
Nick Magical bounce back year?
No. Nico Horner.
Horner, stud.
I like him.
He swipes a lot of bags too.
Yeah. And the only person that I can think of that's like an actually good player on the Red Sox, and everybody else is kind of like unproven or old, is Devers. They got Verdugo.
Yeah.
But he's like, eh.
He's eh.
But the only good player I can think of, but I can think of like solid guys on the Cubs team.
Yeah.
And they don't have Nathan Eovaldi anymore. Chris Sale's always injured. So they're not going to have a good pitching rotation either.
Yeah.
But they're both going to have disappointing years.
I think that there's one reason that the Cubs are going to end up having a better season than the Red Sox, and that's because one of them plays in the NL Central and one of them plays in the AL East. There's 4 really strong
Also
teams in the AL East, and Cardinals are good. Who knows what's going on with the Brewers? And then
You got the Pirates and you got the Reds.
not really any competition there.
Hey, but watch out for when that furry convention's in Pittsburgh, baby.
That's right. Do you guys know about that stat? Anybody listening? You watch Foolish Bailey. Shout
Everybody
out
go
Foolish
watch
Bailey.
Foolish Bailey and the video is Andrew McCutcheon is a furry. That's the video title. You got to watch it. It's hilarious. Insane stats during the Pittsburgh furry conventions right across the water from the stadium.
Do you remember any of his stats?
I remember he hit like 3 home runs in like 12 games. He had like a plus I think it was like a 1.2 on base plus slugging or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild. On Friday we'll talk about that video.
Okay. I love that.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with talking about furries.
Okay, let's see what else.
Wow. His savant is quite impressive.
What's the difference between Savant and Baseball Reference?
Baseball Savant's like more like those like niche stats, and it has like what percentile. It's owned by MLB.com, so it has like a bit more in depth stuff, and it has a spray chart from hitting.
Got
and
it.
stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
It is a tri-weekly pod, Brandon.
This is a tri-week.
Can you believe it? I'm gonna be talking about sports 3 times a week, but it's only for an hour, so it's not that bad.
All right. NFL.
We gotta wrap it up soon. We got a basketball game to go to.
We're good. We're chilling.
Okay.
Jets willing to send 2 first-round picks for Aaron Rodgers. Says he'll take a salary cut if he plays next season. He knows that he's gonna have to take a salary cut. No team is gonna spend $60 million on him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Would you send 2 first round picks for Aaron Rodgers?
No.
You don't like his attitude?
No, I don't like his attitude. I'd rather have a. I don't know. There's other guys you can get out there.
100%. He's a crybaby. I don't like him in the
He is a
locker room
crybaby.
at all.
And he's immunized.
He is, and that.
But he is immunized. That's a good thing, though.
The city of New York. They're very strict about that stuff.
But
So-
they're in New Jersey, and we,
That's true.
You
We
got-
all saw
you know about
Jersey
the-
Shore.
You know about that Jersey Shore,
We all
don't you?
saw Jersey Shore.
The heroin needles all over the. You can get immunized for anything on the
That's
beaches
right.
of
Who knows
Jersey
what
Shore.
vaccines they were getting out there?
That's right. You can go anywhere.
Those vaccines were brown, and they were cooked. That's all I know. All right. Raiders parting ways with Derek Carr. Can it be fixed in one offseason? We already talked about that. Thank you, Jake, for calling in about that topic.
I say no.
You don't think it can be fixed in one offseason? It's
No.
going to be another disappointing year. Even if Tom Brady reunites with Josh McDaniels.
They have to do a full rebuild.
Full. Except for Max Crosby.
That's right. But he's gonna get a. Oh no.
You think of Dylan Carson?
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Watch out for that mail fraud, guys.
I don't know. I feel like they've been like the exact same team like since football's been like slightly on my radar.
That's why Jake goes insane every single year.
At least like you see like there's like an ebb and flow with the Lions, you know? There's like
There's been a lot of lows lately. It's been pretty consistent in the bottom.
But when I was first conscious of football,
That's true.
there was like
Calvin Johnson,
Megatron and Matthew Stafford, and they were like in the playoffs.
Theo Riddick, Kerryon Johnson,
And then
household names.
yeah, sure, whatever.
Golden Tate. Hey, you know who
I
Golden
don't know
Tate
who
is.
it is. But then they got bad. But now they're getting better.
Yeah.
But then with the Raiders, they always just seem like they think they're going to be great, but then they never are. So that's why they got to switch it up.
I think it's because they're coaching.
Well, they like
Do you think if Gruden was still their coach, they'd be better off now?
no. Gruden's going to get arrested. That's my prediction.
Gruden is the next Raider-tied human being to be arrested. What do you think he's going to be arrested for?
I don't know, some email thing. He's probably got some like
He does probably have some crazy shit in his email. All right. NBA. We're going to touch on the NBA, and that's going to wrap up this podcast
okay.
for the day. All right.
Do we want to talk about the Rui Hachimura trade?
You can touch on it if you want. How do you feel about it?
Okay. So, the Lakers, they traded for Rui Hachimura. They traded Kendrick Nunn and 3 second-round picks. And, I'm very confused with the NBA draft. It doesn't really make any sense. There's only 2 rounds, and the only important players are the first 10 players.
Yep.
So, do the second-round picks really mean anything? They kind of do, because sometimes good players go in the second round.
Isn't one of them in like 2035?
One's in 2029. And the other one isn't their pick. But I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's a great. I think it's a really good trade for the Lakers. How was Kendrick Nunn this season?
He was injured, and then he played. But then they have like 7 guards, so they need
do have a
a
lot of
big
guards.
man. But he can't really shoot that well.
Yeah, they got Pat Bev, Westbrook, and Schroeder.
And Lonnie Walker.
Yeah, they don't need him. Ship him out of town.
So he's gone. And now there's 4 former Wizard players on the Lakers now. You got Russell Westbrook, you got Thomas Bryant, Troy Brown Jr., and Rui Hachimura.
Look at that.
And
The Los Angeles Wizards.
yeah, which is not a really good thing
I
because
know,
they're
yeah,
never very
it's-
good.
If it's not Bradley Beal, I don't know how I feel
Yeah,
about it.
exactly.
What about Danny Advia? Is he any good?
I don't
remember
know.
when he got drafted, he was like the first player out of Israel to be drafted.
I can't tell you that.
Okay,
I don't.
moving on.
Yep.
Sacramento Kings. They're hot.
That's right.
They've been hot for a long time
we
now.
just watched that game. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was a great game.
It was
What,
raining threes.
47 points in the first half.
Light the
First
beam.
quarter, I mean. Light the beam. I think that's so annoying.
Imagine you're living in the suburbs of
You're about to go to sleep.
Sacramento, and you're about to go to sleep. You got work in the morning, and then all of a sudden, just this giant purple light is in the
Just
sky.
shoots
You're
up
like,
into
"Oh,
the sky.
the-"
Yeah, close your shutters whenever there's a Kings game,
Exactly.
just in case.
You got to get the blackout.
Everyone needs
the
blackout
windows.
shutters
Yeah,
in Sacramento.
Exactly.
All right. Do you think it's sustainable? Can they carry it through the playoffs? Are they a regular season team?
They're
What do
gonna
you
make the playoffs, depending on who they play. If they're a 3 seed, they're gonna get eliminated in the first round. But
Okay.
if they play a play-in team, they'll win.
Okay.
And
I
then
like that.
they'll get eliminated in the next round.
I like that. I would absolutely agree with that take. 100%.
Apparently, they're not good defensively, but they got a good culture.
And they shoot like crazy.
Yeah.
Huerter just dropping in threes.
Yep.
All right. And last question that's going to wrap up our podcast for the day. Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum. Who do you want to start your franchise with?
Well, let's see. I feel like the obvious pick is Luka because actually I don't know.
He's a little ball dominant.
Yeah, but he can. Apparently he passes. He gets enough assists to get average triple doubles.
That's true.
So he apparently isn't that ball dominant. But Jason Tatum was also like a pretty big ISO player too, and now he sometimes passes. I don't know. I feel like if Jason Tatum was on the Mavericks, they would have a similar record. They would be a similar team to what they are now.
Yeah.
But if Luka Doncic was on the Celtics, I think they'd be better because he's like an actual he's a better passer, better point guard.
Okay.
So I feel like I don't know. I think, but I'm gonna take Jason Tatum because of the Duke bias.
Okay.
You gotta rep the dad's school. He went
Absolutely.
You gotta rep Papa's school.
I love it.
Theater major at Duke.
That's right. Duke says Doncic. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue with what Doncic does night in and night out. It's unbelievable.
It is pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And he's a big complainer.
He is a big complainer,
Don't
though.
like
He's a
that.
whiner. Tatum's a hard-nosed guy. I like that about him.
But I've seen Luka Doncic play in person.
It's pretty unbelievable.
It's pretty crazy. He drops we go to Clippers games, we watch him play in the playoffs, and he drops 50 points.
You know we've never gone to a Clippers game where they won?
Really?
In the playoffs?
Well, because one of the games we went to, it was Shea and Patrick Beverly and Lou Williams
Versus the Warriors.
and
And Kevin
Durant.
Durant shot 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy
was
game to
good.
watch. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for our episode today.
Wow.
Episode 2.
What's I got a quick question for you. What's a weird moment in sports that you've experienced recently that you would like to just shout out?
Like just something weird that happened?
Yeah.
Huh. What is a weird moment in sports that happened lately that I'd like to shout out? Do you have one on mind? That's not why you're bringing this up?
Well, not particularly.
So now I'm just stumped here.
Actually, I was watching tennis the other day,
Okay.
and there was a Japanese guy that lost 5-0, 5-0 in the first two matches, and then he started actually playing. He played good in the third match, but then he still lost. And then he went to go shake the hand of the guy he was playing, and I swear to God, that guy was 2 feet taller than
Really?
the Japanese guy. I was like, how is that fair?
He
That's
can cover
crazy.
he can cover around a lot better.
Yeah, so that's the weird moment in sports for me. The Australian Open's going on,
Okay.
and we should talk about that more. And I gotta say, tennis outfits. Some of them were good, but then there's also some big misses.
I agree.
Yeah, all right. That's my weird moment in sports is that I watched the Australian Open.
All right. I love it. I don't have one for you. I'm stumped. I'll open up next show with a weird moment in sports that I can think of. Okay.
All right. Yeah, sounds
All
good.
right.
Thank you.
Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Episode 2 wrapped up. Let's keep this going. Let's blow this podcast up. I really appreciate everyone who tuned in to watch this today and who's listening live, who's listening after we record this and post it on Spotify and other podcasting platforms. See you guys next time.